So do you set goals, plan your week, use a calendar, write a to-do list, and still feel exhausted? You still feel behind and you still feel like nothing is ever really getting done. So you're not lazy, okay? You are not doing it wrong. You are just running on an invisible loop of pressure, overwhelm, and overfunctioning, and it's costing you your energy. So I'm sure you plan, you organize, but you are always still so drained. And there is a reason for that. And we are going to dive into what nobody is telling you. Hello there, my name is Laura, and I help ambitious women with a full-time job and a side hustle build a sustainable time management system without burning out. Now, if you are managing your time really well, but you still feel unproductive, you still feel tired and stuck, there is a hidden reason you need to know. And in this video, I am sharing what is really draining your energy. 4 reasons why you are so exhausted and what you can do to reset your system so your planning actually works for you. And number 4, it's a game changer. Once I really understood that and started implementing it in my life and in my system, it changed everything for me. I absolutely got rid of burnout. So you want to stay around for that. Now, the very first thing is you are operating in survival mode and not strategy mode. When you feel behind all of the time, your nervous system treats your to-do list as a threat. And that's not productivity, that's pressure. And that keeps you in a cycle of doing without feeling fulfilled. So if you feel like you're always behind, even when you check things off of your to-do list, and you feel guilt when you rest or even take some time off, or you're constantly shifting priorities without clarity because you're constantly in this catch-up cycle, right? You're constantly trying to catch up. You want to go ahead and start with awareness. You have to ask yourself, am I reacting to urgency or am I intentionally choosing focus? And then you have to go back and reset, right? You have to clarify your goals. Choose your one thing right now that is going to help you move the needle towards you achieving your goals. Go ahead and set milestones for your goals and then focus on one milestone at a time. Right? Then take the next step, right? Which is breaking down your milestones into tasks and prioritizing those tasks. What 20% of tasks will help you achieve 80% output. Also, you want to reset your timelines, right? Your timelines are not set in stone. It is your business. You set your own timelines and you need to give yourself grace. Now, if you are at the place where you really need that reset, right, make sure you watch this video right here where I go through my own step-by-step mid-year reset process. Now, the second reason why you're always feeling exhausted is because you are managing your time, but not your mental load. One thing you need to understand is that planning does not clear mental clutter, right? Now, if your mind is constantly filled with tabs, right? You have groceries, you have content ideas, your to-do list, your goals, your guilt. You will remain tired no matter how efficient your system is. Have you ever been in a state where just thinking about what you need to do or the enormity of a project just overwhelms you? And you're exhausted even before you start. Well, the solution is brain dump. Now, if you have heard about this, but you are not implementing it, you are seriously exposing yourself to a state of consistent overwhelm, even if you are not doing anything. So you need to get everything out of your head and write it down, whether it's in a physical or a digital notebook or planner. Right? You need to systemize this practice. So my system is to practice brain dumping every single day, right? Whenever I remember that, hey, I need to do this, sometimes even at night, right? I have a system where I write that down immediately, or else I have the tendency of forgetting to do this stuff. So for me, I use 3 things, right? Number 1 is my notepad on my phone. If this is just an idea that I need to circle back on at some point. And so I have different pages in my notepad on my phone, and I just put this idea on the appropriate page, depending on what it is. Now, the second thing I use is the notes tab on an event on my calendar. Now, this mostly applies to already created events or blocks on my calendar. For example, if I have a doctor's appointment and I need to ask the doctor a question, in order for me not to forget what the question is, I'm going to go ahead to the notes part in that event and write down the question so I do not forget about this, right? So writing that down just clears my head. It makes me know that, okay, this is down. I do not need to try to remember that takes away the overwhelm. Now, the last thing I use is my task function on my Google Calendar. This is usually if it's a personal task that does not really have a time blocked out for that. And these are things like maybe return this to Amazon or put gas and stuff like that, because I really do tend to forget this stuff. And I add it as a task on my Google Calendar on a specific day, depending on the urgency. And then I'm going to set a reminder a day before, 10 minutes before, a week before, like whatever it is, I am going to set that reminder appropriately, right? Depending on how I want to be reminded. So I also use a brain dump ritual every single Sunday for my planning session, right? This is where I plan for the week. However, for the most part, since I randomly brain dump within the week, by the time I get to that point, which is my Sunday planning session, everything is mostly already on my system or in my system, and I just need to go through it, make any adjustments if needed. So the point is to get ideas, worries, tasks out of your head into a system. And this is to eliminate overwhelm and mental clutter. Now, the third reason why you are so exhausted is because you are overscheduling and under prioritizing. Now, a packed schedule might look productive, right? However, that is mostly just disguised burnout. Busy doesn't mean productive, right? Productive or productivity is about priority and not about volume. The things you choose not to do is as important as the things that you choose to do. Now, if you have a full-time job and a side hustle, for the most part, you do have a weekly or daily routine. That's usually you wake up, you go to work, you come back, you do personal stuff, whether it's family, cleaning, cooking, taking care of your kids, watching TV, workout, whatever, right? So it should be easy for you to know how much time you can actually dedicate towards your side hustle on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. Say, for example, you know that you have 30 minutes every single day to dedicate towards your side hustle, which is absolutely okay. You cannot plan to do 3 tasks every day in 30 minutes. What you want to do is plan for one task and then adjust as you go. Depending on how much time you realize it takes for you to complete each task, then you're going to plan accordingly. Based on this, then you can set more realistic weekly or monthly goals or even yearly goals, right? Because you have understood how much time you truly have. And you know realistically what your output is based on the time that you have. Now, with that in mind, you have to prioritize, and then prioritize. Focus on the 20% of tasks that get you the maximum results for your side project. If anything is a nice to have, eliminate it from your to-do list, right? Those are not the things that you want to focus on right now for your side project. So start by choosing one single goal every single week for your side project, even if that is simply a consistency goal, right? For example, I will network with my other clients every single day this week. That is perfectly okay. So you want to build everything around your priorities, right? And not around the illusion of you doing more. Instead of you trying to fill your calendar, right? You want to ask yourself, what is the one thing that actually matters this week? Now, reason number 4 is you are planning tasks and not your energy or recovery. So you might be time blocking every hour, but are you scheduling recovery? And not only that, are you time blocking tasks based on your energy levels? So not all hours are created equal for each individual, right? We all do have specific hours of the day when we are more or most energized and creative, and other hours when we are just not. So it's not you, you're not lazy, it's just your system. And you need to work with it, not against it. Now, when I discovered that the reason why I am not energized after work or very early in the morning is simply because I'm not, right? I'm just not. That is my own system. I am at my best mid-morning, early afternoon. But since I work 9 to 5 at that time, I schedule time for deep work during the weekends or on Saturdays during the time when I am more creative. And I leave more creative tasks to be done during that time. I also schedule rest, right? You need to account for rest and recovery in your system because no amount of planning is going to work if your brain is not allowed to recharge. Now, for me, my rest days are Fridays and Sundays. Fridays after work, I really do not focus on my side project. I do more house chores and then watch TV, read, rest, right? Because I want to really take a break from all of the work that I did within the week and recharge for my creative work the next day, which is Saturdays, because I do not want to be in that space where I am work. I feel like I will not be able to really be creative on Saturdays if I do not at least take that evening on Fridays after work to just rest my brain, right? And then on Sundays too, because I just need to mentally prepare for the coming week. Now, if you want to learn more about how to implement time blocking effectively, make sure you watch the video on the screen at the end, and that is gonna really give you my step-by-step process on how I time block. That changed everything for me, and I guarantee it's gonna change for you too. And finally, the reason why you feel so exhausted even when you plan for your week, it's simply because you are skipping the root cause, which is usually internal pressure and perfectionism. So you're not just tired from doing too much, right? You are tired of expecting yourself to do it perfectly, quickly, and without rest. That pressure is what is silently draining you even more than your schedule. You need to shift your mindset from perfectionism to progress. So learn to set consistency goals, right? And you always want to make sure that you are celebrating your progress. So do not only wait to celebrate the output, but celebrate your progress along the way. Celebrate your progress as you go through your journey. That will take you a long way in the long run. And that consistency will most likely get you results. So you just need to be patient and give yourself some grace. You do not need a better planner, right? You just need a better rhythm, one that includes recovery, focus, and space. Because burnout doesn't really come from what you do, it comes from how you are holding it all together. Now, which of these reasons is draining your energy the most at the moment? Comment below, I'd love to know. And if you are doing all the right things but you still feel stuck, tired, and behind in your side project, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter in a way that honors your energy. And I am offering free clarity calls to help ambitious women like you create a balanced routine that fits your real life and finally helps you build and grow your business with peace and purpose. So go to the link in the description box or the link in the comment section and schedule a call with me. Let's help you reset the real root cause and then move forward with confidence. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you love this video, please hit the thumbs up button, share with someone who needs a productivity boost, subscribe to my channel for weekly videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.